guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to write a very educational and revealing article titled, Wives Are Revealing the Biggest Secrets They've Kept from Their Spouses, and Some of These Are Truly Wild. And a big shout out to the dude that sent me this story. And guys, this article, like it says in the title, is going to go over 25 confessions from women of all ages and backgrounds about things they've kept from their husbands. Things from just mild issues like they think he's a bad kisser but they love him anyway, to outright they're not quite sure if their kids are his. And a whole range of different things here. That'll be a very good one here for multiple reasons. One, as a little lesson to all you relationship guys that one day you're thinking about having a wife, married, all that, be aware that women have secrets and things they're not going to tell you. Okay, I don't care how great of a girl she is, I guarantee you she's got some secrets. Hopefully, they're going to be on the very mild level, but and certainly not the major ones, but they all do. And be aware of this going into the situation, and you're going to see this whole thing's going to cover affairs, hidden debt, not knowing if the kids are yours, that type of thing. And you must keep your eyes open for all the red flags, as I warn all the time. And also, for the guys that aren't interested in relationships and definitely not interested in marriage, this will only reinforce exactly why you have the opinion that you do. So, starting off, it says here, recently, we wrote up secrets that married men are keeping from their significant others. So we asked married women in the BuzzFeed community to tell us what they've never revealed to their spouses. Here are some of the most shocking and heartbreaking responses. Number one, these are all quotes from the women. Number one, years back, my husband and I were going through a rough patch. I started having an affair with a handsome man I met at work. It was everything I've been missing: passion, romance, and wild in the bedroom. But I became pregnant a few months later. I came to my senses and cut things off to focus on my marriage and the baby. To this day, I don't know if my child belongs to my husband or the man I had the affair with. There you go. It's amazing how often you hear that in these stories. And sad. Can you imagine the shocks would be across the world if all of a sudden a paternity test was taken to find out the kids would be shocked and the husbands would be shocked? Number two, lady says here, I lived a double life with another partner for 6 years out of our 12-year marriage. Same city, used a different name. 2 wardrobes, 2 sets of friends. I was exhausted. No kids, thank God. I was incredibly selfish. Neither of them know I'm in therapy now. Good Lord. Number 3, she says here, our first child was not an accident. I was ready. We had a great support network in the family and our friends. We owned our home. Both had stable careers. We've been together for 10 years. He kept saying it wasn't the right time. But I don't think he would ever have felt it was the right time. His mom was emotionally abusive and his dad was just thoughtless. Both told him regularly that their careers are more important than him. His own fear of being like them was holding him back. So I just decided to go off the pill and feign a surprise when the test was positive. There you go. She wanted to have kids. This is what I tell you. Always wear protection, always dispose your protection, and do not buy for a second the I'm on the pill line. Right here. And this happens in not just in a girl that's single, dating a guy, hoping to get him to marry her, but ones that actually are married and want kids or want more kids. Number 4. I had a torrid, full-blown love affair with a coworker. Neither of us were happy in our marriages at the time, but we brought out a passion in each other that neither of us had with our spouses. Our affair ended after 2 years, but we still remained friends. We both stayed married and even became parents. Our kids are the same age, and we all hang out together. Neither of our spouses know the truth, though I'm sure they had their suspicions over the years. What a couple of assholes. They had their affair. It's like, then just end it. End your marriages. Go be together. I'm sure then they would cheat on each other, but you get my point. Nope. And they hang out together with the kids. That's just sick. Number 5. About 4 years ago, our neighbor, who is a beautiful man, started looking at me in a certain way. I don't have much self-confidence, ding, 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 and don't feel very sexy, so it took me a while to realize he was attracted to me. Anyway, one day after a bunch of our neighbors got together, my husband went home and passed out cold. I ended up in my neighbor's garage doing anything and everything to each other. It was amazing. And she wrote again, amazing. If it's that bad, end the marriage. Number 6. After my husband told me that he cheated on me, I slept with 3 of his friends. Wow, great loyal friends of his, huh? I will never tell my husband because he still feels guilty, and divorcing at this time would negatively impact me. Our marriage has been over since he told me, but I need for our youngest to graduate so I'm not financially ruined. So he cheated, I'm guessing, with just one time with one person, but she had to go not only 3 times to a triple whammy, but also his friends. And what does it say about his friends? Bros before you know what, guys. Number 7. Once a year, I sleep with my husband's brother, who is also married, during a business trip. So your relationship, guys, we're about a third through this. Marriage sound good to you? Number 8. I racked up $50,000 in credit card debt and took out loans to pay it off. I will never tell my husband. And this is why before getting together with her, you make sure you find out what she's like with money. Because if she is always spending money on everything that doesn't quite match up her income, that'll tell you everything you need to know. And I'd like to know how she's hiding this debt. I mean, obviously she has money coming in. He would certainly have to question where's it going out to, unless he's that blind. Number 9. During my junior year of college, my now husband and I were on a break. Whose idea was the break? We've been dating since high school, but called off our official relationship. You honestly couldn't tell we were not an item because we talked all the time, hung out, and constantly had sleepovers. But a guy in my major started paying attention to me. It's been a while since I felt pursued like that. I ended up sleeping with the guy one time, and it was the best sex I ever had. The old break thing. Maybe she's not mentioning she chose the break because she was getting the attention from the guy in her class, and that's why the whole thing happened. Number 10. I cheat on my spouse several times and don't regret it. I've been asking for a divorce for a long time and they refuse. If they knew about my affairs, it might actually work the next time I ask, but now I'm so exhausted from dealing with my partner that I don't have the energy to fight through a divorce. Okay. Number 11. That I settled for him so my daughter, who was 2 years old at the time, could have a safe and steady upbringing. It took a long time to fall in love with him, and even today, I know he's not my soulmate. We work great together and bring out the positives in each other. It's been 13 years, and I'm not going anywhere, but I feel the pangs of guilt sometimes. Stayed in it for the kid. Number 12. I'm still in love with someone else. No matter how much I try to be a good wife, I still think about my ex. Nothing my wife does will ever make me feel like she did. Oh, so she's lesbian. My ex and I broke up, and I got married because I wanted to settle down. I can't hear her out, get her out of my mind. My spouse is the sweetest person and would do anything for me, but I wish she were someone else. Well, here you go. Even with same-sex relationships, the gals settle. The one they really wanted didn't work out, so they settled for someone that obviously is a provider and stable and all that. Meanwhile, carrying a torch for the one that got away, if you will. Number 13. After the birth of our child, our sex life kind of died. He just has no interest in doing it, only when he's horny, a couple times a year. My sex drive is pretty high. Over the years, I try to discuss the emptiness of our sex-less marriage with him, but he says he's fine with the situation. After 9 years of almost no sex and feeling more and more miserable, I told myself I'm way too nice of a person to be without sex and made the decision to not be monogamous anymore. Well, keep in mind, you relationship guys, as you get older and your drive diminishes, if you're not taking care of her, if she's not getting it from you, she's going to get it someplace else eventually. So if that means, even though your drive is declining as you get older, which happens, if that means you got to take some pills and service every now and again, even though you're not feeling it, then there you go. Because otherwise, they're going to find other options. Number 14. I didn't realize I was bisexual until I was married to my husband for 5 years. Really? We had a rough patch when I was stressed out for my PhD and we were struggling financially. I got really close with a female friend. By the time I recognized my feelings, I was very much in love with her. I even confessed my feelings to her. Throughout my life, I've known a number of gay people, great people, and they told me flat out they knew when they were little kids. So I have a very hard time buying she just suddenly, suddenly I'm attracted to the same sex. Number 15. The truth is, I don't love or even like my husband. We had a whirlwind relationship and purchased our home within the first 2 years of dating. 7 years in, I found out that he's selfish, dirty, and lazy. I want to leave so badly, but all my savings are in the house, which is now my prison. And this is why you spend years getting to know someone before you get together with them. Now, maybe he pulled a bait and switch on her. I don't know. Number 16. I've been cheating on my husband, one of his friends, also married, since we got married. It's now been over 17 years. We regularly see this other couple, and it would completely ruin the two families and our entire friend group if the truth ever came out. Being home during the pandemic made our visits less frequent. Now we've continued making plans to meet up every few months. It's just the SEX. What a piece of shit. Number 17. My husband is not great at saving. He thinks if there's some extra after a paycheck, putting it towards wants and experiences works fine. He definitely keeps us spontaneous and enjoying the moments of life. But I have my own small business, and instead of putting it all towards our joint account each month, I take a small amount from our each paycheck and put it into a savings account that he doesn't know about. Now that's one I have no problem with here. Because here you go. He's a spender, she's a saver. And obviously, you got to put away. You can't piss it all away on bullshit, but that's what he does. And so I don't blame her for putting extra away to take care of them. So I got no problem. That is the only one, though, so far I have no problem with. But she also needs to lay down the law with him and say, stop pissing away on bullshit. I want to have money when we're old and I don't have to work forever. Number 18. I can never tell my husband that sex with him is so boring. I totally miss the absolute sexual chemistry I had with my ex. Back to the ex, who she settled for this guy. Well, while sex is incredibly dull with my husband, he's a good man who loves me and is such a great dad. It would break his heart if I told him how I feel about the sex life. Well, then you should tell him. Seriously, just be direct. You can say it nicely, but be direct. And I guarantee you, unless this woman is overweight, really overweight and not attractive, if she's remotely good looking, if she says, hey, I'm willing to spice things up and everything to get him more interested, I'm sure things can be worked out. Okay, but you can't just, a lot of times, you know how it works, the women won't be direct with their guy. They'll just drop hints and speak in innuendos, hoping he figures it out. Men are not mind readers. You got to be direct with us. And some may not like it, but you know what? It's better than keeping a secret all this time. Number 19. I cheated on my husband a year before we got married with my high school sweetheart, who I hadn't seen in 12 years. I was on the verge of breaking up with my husband, and he knew it. After I cheated, I realized how much I love my husband and only wanted him. I will never, ever tell him what I did, and I will take that secret to my grave. So we've done 19 so far, guys. Again, you relationship guys, be aware that there are secrets. Some small, some major. Be aware of what you're getting into. And don't get me wrong, there are guys that have secrets too, but this is a men's channel, and I'm helping guys out here. Number 20. I got pregnant shortly after we started dating and had an abortion without telling him. I always knew I didn't want to have kids, and he came from an anti-abortion background. I was afraid I'd let myself be talked into keeping it. Not to mention the relationship was only a few months old. And I had no idea this was the guy I wanted my life forever. So when the birth control failed, it was the only option. Failed. We've been married 15 years and I never tell him. Number 21. My husband had an affair a few years back. That really broke me. We've done some counseling together and separately. But I know I'm only with him because we have young children. And I can't afford to buy him out of the house. Okay, now that's on the basis that, let's just say she was a good wife and didn't cheat on him and wasn't denying him things in the bedroom and all. And he went and cheated on her, and he's the a-hole, and she wants to divorce him, but she's staying for the kids. And ultimately, sadly, she's going to be unhappy. Those kids will pick up on it. But she's doing it, obviously, because she can't afford to buy him out of the house. It is so sad how many miserable marriages there are out there. Either ranging from two people are together, and they're living as roommates, they tolerate each other, maybe have a little fun, to outright hating each other's guts. It's sad. Number 22. That he is a terrible kisser. She wrote terrible in giant letters. Amazing lover, but kissing is not so good. If he knew, it would hurt him so much. So I'll take that secret to the grave. Oh, for goodness sake, just tell the guy that, flat out tell him you love him, he's amazing in bed, blah, blah, but the kissing you need to work on. Again, be direct with your guy. And if he's sensitive about it, he'll get over it. Work with him on it. Number 23. Despite all efforts, my husband is just not very fulfilling to me in bed. He has severe anxiety, and I don't know how to talk to him about it. So I just don't. Instead, I just never initiate the SCX. I'd rather sleep than have boring vanilla SCX. Well, if you're willing to get a little freaky, I'm assuming that should get him a little more interested, but also be direct. This is like the third time I've had a woman make a confession here about something, and if she would just talk to the guy and not be afraid of him getting upset or whatever, and I don't care if he has fucking anxiety, work with him. It's far better than keeping this secret all along, and sadly, unfulfilled eventually leads to affairs. 24. That I might actually wanted to have kids if my husband wouldn't be the father. I'm going to read that again. That I might actually wanted to have kids if my husband wouldn't be the father. But why the hell did you marry him? Duh. And number 25. And finally, I cheated on him with my coworker, who became a really close friend to me. We spent the night together a few times. We say I love you to each other, and he considers me his girlfriend until he can find someone else to give him the committed relationship that he wants. I love my husband more than anything, and I can't live without him. Really? Because you have a funny way of showing it here that you're effing your coworker. Deep down, I know he wouldn't leave me if he found out that this is more than a friend. And that's why you're doing it. I sometimes regret getting involved with another man and feel guilty, but for the time being, I have a husband and a boyfriend. And you're a selfish a-hole. Did you hear what you just said there? She has a feeling deep down that if he found out, he wouldn't leave her. Therefore, she keeps doing what she's doing. This is what happens when women have absolute certainty their guy isn't going anywhere. Bullshit happens. So there you go, guys. 25 quick ones, confessions from women of all different backgrounds about things they're hiding from their guy. Now, of course, I guarantee there isn't a husband out that doesn't hide something from his wife as well, but these are pretty awful. So again, for your relationship guys, be aware of these things. So if you're going to do relationships, which is your business, fine, and you want to do marriage one day, your religion, your culture, again, it's your business. Be aware that things are going on, and you need to definitely spend a lot of time with your girl, really getting to know who she is on multiple fronts. And communication is key and all those things. And letting her know if there's something bothering you, talk to me. Don't be afraid to hurt my feelings. Be direct. Okay? Direct. Communication's key. And then find out about all sorts of other things about her spending habits, what she likes to do, what her family's like, what her friends are like. A lot of vetting to hopefully minimize any potential BS. The other day I did a video, didn't do too well, no surprise there, about top 10 traits that could qualify a gal as a unicorn. Now, I don't believe in unicorns, but that's the term that's used that could potentially make her a keeper if these qualities are made. And you want to look at that one, guys. In my opinion, 10 top things. There were extras, but 10 top things to see. Really want to make sure she has those qualities if you're in fact going to get a serious relationship in. So, guys, there you go. That'd be a good one to cover here. Definitely some cringeworthy, but other ones not so big. All right, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Let me know, guys, if you know any other ones that you've heard of that you found out through the grapevine. I'd like to hear about in the comment section. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.